Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Really excited to be here.
Well, so are we.
So I wanted to it's kind of an expansion on the question I asked last night on live stream.
Yes.
So you said the reason I had the dream about Orinoco's quest
Yes.
was because of my connection to hybrid kids.
On Earth in the future, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering like if you meant like a difference between the hybrid kids that I have, or if like you meant
No, I meant what might be called a counterpart of your own from the same oversoul that is living life as a hybrid on the Earth in the future.
okay, thank you.
So it has a degree of familiarity to you.
Okay. And then does taking birth control affect your psychic abilities? Like does it
It depends on your belief system.
Oh. So if you believe that you're fine, then it doesn't
If you really, really,
Yeah.
truly know that to be true, yes. If you have questions about it, then you may be connecting into the collective consensus reality that says it might in fact affect it.
Okay.
So you have to decide for yourself what part of the collective works for you and what part of the belief system is your own individual belief system that works better for you than the collective consensus one.
Okay. And then I was reading one of the Dolores Cannon books,
Yes.
and they were talking about how because I know that you talk about when you're part of the hybridization program, they
Yes.
take DNA material from you.
Yes.
And in one of the books, they talked about like some women are actually pregnant with a hybrid kid.
Yes, temporarily sometimes, and then they lose it or what they think is a miscarriage that's not.
So it's like actually physical, like not just an energetic kind of.
Yes, it can actually be physical. And then the embryo is taken and matured on board the ships in hybridization tanks.
Wow. Okay. Um and then can you explain why like the idea of soul families, why we have them
Why
instead
do
of
you have friends?
Well, no, I mean like instead of just everybody like being one soul family, I guess.
Well, on one level, of course, everyone is one soul
Mm,
family, but we understand that when you people use those terms, you're usually referring to something a little bit farther down the line and closer to physical reality in spirit.
okay.
So there are, just as you have reasons for having the friends you have, there are reasons you have for having the soul family you have that is connected to the idea of your experiences on Earth. Plus, you all have soul families that might be connected to other civilizations or other dimensions of reality. And again, on and on and on and on and up and up and up and up until, of course, at that level, everything is one.
Okay. And then
Of
oh,
course, it doesn't end there
yeah.
because you
And
can have families of the one.
right. Okay. Um, and so, also in my own encounter experience that I had in
Yes.
September, I was aware of like being on I mean, it might not have been a ship, but it was somewhere else. But I was also aware of being in my body in
Yes.
bed. But
Yes.
when the experience was over, I was
Yes.
left with a mark.
Yes.
So I was like,
It'll happen that way sometimes.
but how does that work mechanically? Like, is your
Because sometimes when you are shifted to a different reality and a certain adjustment or change is made,
mm,
remember, as above, so below.
oh,
So
okay.
sometimes what is altered in the template level reality
Mm,
on a different level will then manifest in the physical reality as well.
okay. Um, and then do we have technologies? Because I know a lot of us can go to like Sedona and sense vortices
Yes.
just, intuitively, but
Yes.
are there technologies that we can build or already have?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do we already have them or
You have all the equipment. Sometimes there are combinations of them that are sensitive enough to detect the electromagnetic vortices.
okay.
And sometimes you have other versions of technology that need to be put together in ways that would be sensitive enough to detect the vortices. But yes, you have the technology to do that.
Okay, cool. Um Oh,
Yes.
and and then last night, or maybe it wasn't last night, maybe it was 2 nights ago. You were talking about someone asked a question and you were talking about open contact.
Yes.
And I remember in other events you've said it's
2025 to 2033, maybe 2040. And the last time we
yeah.
said it, we said 2033
Yeah.
to 2040. Yes, it's changed a bit, but
Okay.
it's always fluctuating.
Okay.
And when we gave that reading, that was indicative of the energy at the time we gave the reading.
And
because sometimes that window will tighten, will widen, will collapse, will expand, depending on what's going on your planet, which is one of the reasons we're talking today about the eye of the storm and staying in the center, so that it may expand again for those that remain in the center, but it will collapse and continue to collapse for those that don't.
um are so life purpose numbers, are they
Life purpose,
like life path numbers, like
life path numbers.
yeah, there's a book
You're
by
talking about a permission slip.
yeah, I
Well, you
was
know what we say about permission slips, yes?
yeah, how they just give you an opportunity to be more of yourself.
So if you are attracted to use it, that means it must be aligned at the moment
Right.
with your belief system
Yeah.
to allow you the opportunity to circumvent your belief system
Right. Yeah.
because you think you need that particular tool, technique, ritual, or object to make it easier to give yourself permission to be more of who you choose to be. It's that simple. So all permission slips are valid. It just depends on what you're attracted to that will work best for you. That's why you're attracted to it.
Right. And then my last question is again about the hybrid kids.
Yes.
So I guess it's kind of a two-part question. I
Oh, I love how clever you all are. It's my last 5-part question.
two. um, so I feel like so I was in a meditation one time and was really deep in it, and I felt like I went through a doorway, and
Yes.
if not all, most of my hybrid kids were there.
Yes.
Um,
And so?
was that like me actually seeing them, or just like a
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
okay? um,
What does actually mean?
well, like
You shifted yourself through a portal to a higher dimensional plane where you had the ability in your senses to perceive that they are there.
no, yeah, I just thought like maybe because sometimes when we dream, it's like how you say that it's like sometimes it's not actually you that's in our dream, it's our
Yes, I
yeah.
understand. But in the case you're talking about, yes, you were able to perceive your hybrid children.
Okay. And then will will I ever be able to meet them like in physical reality?
There are high probabilities of that occurring in your lifetime, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mm.
Bashar! So excited. Okay. Um
Eh?
okay, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, remember in the last transmission you said anybody who wants contact can go to Joshua Tree in the
Well, we
folder?
didn't say want.
Oh, what did you
We
say?
simply said that there was an opportunity to experience more opening, different things. It would help heighten the probability of contact in the future, but to simply go and see what you experience so that we can observe where you're at with regard to the idea of contact.
Okay, got it. Well, I went
Yes.
and I saw what looked like 3 spaceships.
All right.
So I wanted to ask you like who were they and what was it?
Who were they and what was it?
Yeah, like who was in those ships? Are you allowed to tell me?
I'm allowed to say that some of it is friends of yours, some of it is people you don't know, and some of it is other versions of yourself.
Other versions of myself in
Many of
another.
you have counterparts in some of the extraterrestrial civilizations that visit you, so that you will have a degree of vibrational familiarity with them,
Okay.
like looking into a mirror but seeing a different face,
But
but
then that
knowing that it's still another version of the oversoul that you are also an extension from.
got it. But then it's also like maybe another being, like a hybrid being, like version
Yes,
of
in
myself.
general, there were
Okay.
many, many hybrids present at that moment.
Oh, there were. Okay, cool. Um, okay, cool. So it was great. Then the second question is then after that experience, I had this really vivid dream
Yes,
where I was on a spaceship and
yes.
they were doing something. I don't know what they were doing.
All right.
Um,
A memory of an actual encounter.
can you tell me what that was? Like what they were doing?
Taking a closer look, taking a deeper observation, a measurement of your energy, and again, how close you may be to the vibration that would allow for a higher degree of probability of contact. in the future.
Okay.
They wanted to take a more specific reading.
Okay. Is that possible in my lifetime?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, again, it's not so much that things are or are not possible, it's whether they are probable or relevant. And
Is
there
it
is a high
probable and
degree of
relevant?
probability, yes. Otherwise, again, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations.
Right. Right.
You
Okay.
can use us to some degree as a marker that those that find us have a great deal of connection to the idea of the hybrids and the idea of experiencing contact. It doesn't mean it's all guaranteed, but it means that your willingness to participate in the beginnings of contact, which is what these exchanges are, heightens the probability of actual physical contact in the future. So generally speaking, those that are present in these exchanges and listening in to these exchanges, those that are connected vibrationally and feel a familiarity with us and the way we share information with you, are probably on a similar wavelength, close enough to continue to expand your energy toward the idea of open contact. Otherwise, again, it is not as likely that you would be participating with us in these exchanges. Now, again, it doesn't mean you can't change your mind. It doesn't mean you can't succumb to negative and fear-based belief systems that would take you farther away from the idea of the probability of contact. But in general, if you just let go and go along for the ride and follow the formula, and as we recently said, stay in the eye of the storm, it is increasing the probability of contact with us or beings like us in the relatively near future.
Okay. That makes sense.
I know, that's why I said it.
Okay. Then the last thing is, you know how you were talking about neutral preference and like
Yes.
choosing things that are vibrational alignment.
Yes, vibrationally compatible with who you prefer to be.
So then I guess what's the balance between, you know, when you meet people that
Yes.
may not occur like they are vibrational balance?
Are
But
you saying that they're vibrationally incompatible or
yeah,
compatible?
I experienced that, and then I
Yes.
wonder, am I just being biased?
First step, remember. First step always.
Uh-huh.
Honest self-examination. Am
Yeah.
I dampening my excitement? Am I biasing the energy with my belief systems?
Right.
Always do that examination first. Then when you are clear that you may not be biasing it, then you know that what you're sensing really is not your preference vibrationally. Again, this is what we're talking about when we say it's important to have clear discernment. But you have to start with yourself in that discernment. Am I coloring this? Could it be something that could serve me? Could it be something that could be made more vibrationally compatible if I change my belief system about what I'm experiencing here? But if you come right down to the core, the essence of the situation, the circumstance, and the belief systems that are active within you at that moment and determine, no, I'm pretty clear that this is vibrationally incompatible with what I prefer, then it's easy to make the decision as to not engage.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
But it starts with you. You have to be clear within yourself about what you're doing.
I get that. I think the only thing that I get a little confused about is how, you know how I was watching a video and you were sharing how like everybody that we interact with, we're only seeing our version of them.
Yes.
So then ultimately, if I'm creating how they're showing up or I'm seeing my version of them,
Yes.
then, and if they're showing up in my life,
Yes.
then
But for what reason?
for what reason is for me to discover.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as you clarify yourself, you'll understand why you attracted yourself into that circumstance with that person. Whether or not it's for the circumstance of gaining more discernment, more clarity within yourself, and recognizing you don't need to continue to create your version of them anymore, or you do.
Okay.
Yes?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Hello again, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So I spoke with you yesterday, and I guess I forgot to ask you a question. That's
Oh, all
why
right.
you called me today. So again, regarding the experience that I had at Joshua Tree,
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
whole point of me sharing that experience is because I wanted to ask you
Ask the question before
Yeah.
you forget it again.
Okay, so first I wanted to say something else, and then I will ask it. I will not
All
forget
right.
it this time. So the reason I didn't wanted to blend the energy with what I perceived to be them, it was because I didn't know them. It felt like an intimate process, and I didn't know who they were.
All right.
So now I have the question:
Yes.
have I created that? My higher mind created. I know the experience was real, clearly real, but have I created that experience? Like my higher mind created it as a permission slip for me to
know yourself better.
and to release some of my beliefs, or
Yes.
I really had a communication with.
Both.
I knew you were going to answer that. So may I know who I was communicating with?
No.
Of course.
You have to know yourself better first, and then you will know.
Now, I realized the next day when I was thinking about it, and I had the realization this morning that I keep saying we are all one.
Yes, on one level you are.
Okay.
But the idea that you're an individual is also real.
Yes. So I don't regret not, I respected, I honored my beliefs in the moments.
Yes.
So I don't regret that. But if I would know experientially that we are all one,
Yes.
I wouldn't have fear that connection, that blending of
You're
energies.
putting the cart before the horse, as you say. If you let go of the fear, you will have the experience that everything is one. It's the fear that's preventing you from having that experience.
I know.
You can't have the experience and hold on to the fear and say, I'm going to have the experience first and then I'll let go of my fear. You cannot experience what you're not the vibration of first.
No, but when I keep telling people that we are all one, because I know it to be true.
Yes, but
It's just
so
that I
what?
don't believe it.
People are saying, so what? How is that practical to know that? And we're telling you the way that it's practical to know that is to be the fullest individual you can be. Because it's not about the idea of losing the individuality in knowing you're all one. It's about the idea of validating, fully validating your individuality. That's what allows you to feel the harmony and the unity of being one. Not about being homogenous like everyone else, but validating all the differences that make you unique. That's the paradox. Validating the differences that make you a unique individual is what allows you to actually feel connected to everything as one.
All right, so I still have to work on this one.
Oh, all right, please do.
Now, yesterday I had 2 more questions. Are you allowing me to explore one of those?
Nope. You need to work on that one.
I knew that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing us to live up to what you already knew to be true.
Thank you.